Yo, good morning, Gavin. Nah. I was just sometimes it takes a while to get set up in the morning. Did you catch any of this short? Also, did you take any trades last night? Hell yeah, dude. You lost 1,000 last night. Let me see what was going on. Not a whole lot last night, to be honest. Back and forth. Entry was 25,792. 25,792. What time was this at? Over here? Must have been over here, huh? 25,792. Oh, okay. That was the one you just caught. Copy that. 792. That's a great entry, man. $25,600. Damn, dude, you caught the whole move. Nice, brother. What was your entry here, or what was the entry trigger? Oh, damn, we're continuing down. I thought we were bouncing. Might have to chill for a second. I don't know if I don't know if I'm ready to take this short. But it looks like that was just a pullback. Maybe I need to hop on. It's a retest for sure. Yeah, it looked like it's popping through. The low volume being tapped, then wait for the retest. Okay, cool, man. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You got that whole move. That's the shit, dude. Looks like we just hit a wall down here. I think we might bust through, though. I hate being in this at this low of a price right here, but it was looking after we reversed right here like we could just be in for some hard selling. We're still bumping into that floor down here at 25,569. There we go. We're through that 569 now. Yo, good morning. What divergence are you looking at, Gavin? You'll have to explain what the divergence is. Are you just talking about it hitting the yesterday's open? Copy that. It could just be support at yesterday's open. Divergence typically is when you have kind of conflicting information. So, for instance, a divergence, like on delta here, would be if, like, see how here at this kind of pivot point, it's higher than where we are now, and so is volume. Here, this pivot point, volume is below it. So if volume was up here, that would be a divergence. Like where one's going this way and one's going that way. And that can happen on many different indicators like MACD, RSI, money flow index. Basically, yeah, you just have conflicting, you have price doing one thing and indicators doing another. Or you can have a divergence in correlated assets like S&P and NQ are doing different things. Yep, no problem. But no, I appreciate you calling out, the fact that we're at yesterday's open. That's definitely a level that's good to have on the chart. I like to usually just reference like going back, like, and see where we are, but sometimes it's good to have it on your chart. I just typically like having pretty clean charts, especially since I have all this shit on it. Hitting yesterday's point of control here. I might take this trade off, to be honest. Hitting yesterday's point of control. That is a potential area we could bounce from. It's looking like we're we still got this hard selling happening. So I might have sold a little early, but sometimes it's important to lock in some profits, especially at the beginning. I mean, if you're confident it's going to keep going, I think there's a case to be made to sell half and then just let it ride. After this long of an extension, I'm kind of expecting a pullback at some point. But, it could just keep going. That's all right. I'm just reassessing, really. $25,500 key level. Really got some hard selling going on. A retest of this, essentially running up 70 points up to this cluster of sell orders, I'd be interested in re-entering short. You talking about this low right here? Selling's relentless today. I'll be right back. I gotta fix my little P&L calculator thing program. Let's see, what is it? First big seller or first big buyer stepping in right here. Damn. Really could have caught a lot more of that. Extra 85 points. It was also scaring me right here that we were coming down to this level, the point of control from yesterday, and it was also going to be the start of a new candle. But probably should have sold half, let the rest ride. Are you taking long? Okay, cool. Let me take a look at the 5 minute. Yeah, looks like you either got the pullback or a reversal. I'm watching the delta candles right now to see if we're getting stuck. 25,455 is pretty key level. So let's see if we get support there if it comes back down. Damn, I'm a little chilly. That was a nice bounce. It is a nice bounce. Yeah. For now, the biggest challenge you got is 25, 4, 5, 7. You got some absorption that happened up there. You got some passive sellers. What in the hell is wrong with my P&L? Hang on. Let me fix that shit. 4 plus. Looking like you might be at risk for it coming back. No, it's gotta be. Yeah, not sure about this. It's kind of hanging out a long time, but all right, looking better. Coming up to that level right now. It's past it. Cool. Looks pretty decent right now. Let's go. Looking pretty good. Let's see. I think my only concern, well, I wouldn't say my only concern, but one of the concerns so far is that we haven't had a test of aggressive selling yet. Like if we get some aggressive selling that happens, this could be super sensitive to it and price could fall out really quickly because there hasn't been a test yet. kind of like what you just saw, but more extreme if aggressive sellers hop in, because we don't have a test of passive buying in this whole range of the candle. So if aggressive sellers decide to pop in and price shoots down, that's kind of what I would be afraid of. Here we go. We're getting a little test right now. Oh, very sensitive to selling, you can see. $25,480 is where it got stuck. It was looking good the way it bounced pretty quickly. It hanging out around down here is not inspiring a ton of confidence that it's going to keep going long. It looks to me like the sellers are just now kind of like coming back in and really starting to push it down. I might hop in. I like the hourly sweep. Came down, swept this on the hourly candle. So that's my entry trigger on this. Plus, looks like we had passive buying support at 25,427. Are you still in? Hopefully that sweep didn't pop you out. Copy that. Hoping this is a reversal, not just consolidation here. Another possibility is that this is a bear flag, although this sweep was a little suspect. So watching 25,500. Yeah, this could be a potential bear flag here too. So got to be careful about that. We could be coming up. We see all these wicks, these increasing, like these ascending top wicks that are happening. We could be gearing up to make another move down. So that's my concern with this move. This is looking better. Let's just hope we don't like have an instant fall from this price. If we do pull back, I'm looking for like a pullback not to go further than like 25,480. We had a small test at 25,506 for passive buyers, and so if we get back down to there, I'd like to see that area hold 25,506. Coming up to this first standard deviation of VWAP up here as well, which is a pretty key level. Retested that 506 level. We held. Let's see. It looks like we might continue. Music. Lots of aggressive buying up there. Some absorption happening. I don't want to say we're getting weak, but there was a little kind of dying off at the top of this candle. This would be the area I'd be looking if I'm still leaning short on this. This is the area I'd be looking for short. When on moves like this, I mean that's exactly when it can get the most aggressive too, because you have people entering short and then immediately having to get out of their short position because you have momentum to the upside. Let's see if that momentum can start really pushing through this area, this fair value gap right here. Getting a little bit top heavy on this candle. I might pull half my position. I'm gonna go ahead and move the stop down. 25,481. That's where I got it right now. So again, watching this area right here because we're in this fair value gap. Obviously, lots of selling momentum coming into this area. Pulling back here, and this is the area where probably quite a few people are looking for shorts. Now what we want to see is we want to see this squeezing up pretty aggressively. Right now, I am watching for any signs of weakness, particularly watching for aggressive buyers at the top of this candle and seeing that they're unable to push this higher, and watching for any areas where we might have passive sellers hanging out, where we have a lot of volume being absorbed. Getting stuck here just a little bit. Okay, now we're not as aggressive as I would like to see. This candle is top heavy. I do like that this candle, you notice like it did a quick pullback and immediately flipped back green. So that's a point for, the bulls. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen that attempt up there push higher instead of flipping red. I'm going to go ahead and close this position. I'm wondering if this might be a good short now. I'm not sure yet. That was just, 2 attempts to go higher and 2 attempts to go lower, and there wasn't a lot of certainty. So I'm not sure what's going to happen yet, but it wasn't looking as strong as it was in this candle or in this candle. So pullback is, acceptable, but we're right here pulling back at an area where if we had strength, we would have pushed through. So I don't know. This could come back down. I'm not sure yet. If I want to take a short on it. Okay, you're taking it short. Yeah, looks decent. I'm just not positive yet. The only thing I don't like about this just yet is like we haven't really. This candle is kind of low volume, so it looks like it's kind of just hovering up here. It's looking more short to me than long right now. I'm gonna go ahead and try a small short. I'm gonna join you. Yeah, I think what I'm worried about is just that nobody's been really tested yet. It does look like the buyers were fizzling out up there though. But let's see how the sellers can if the sellers can start running it down. So that right there was a little concerning. Bumped into 25,494. There we go. $25,494 is still a little bit of a challenge there. But here we are again, right back at it. It's continuing to bounce from that 25,494, so that's the next area that I'm really watching for us to try and break through. It bounced off it about 4 times. Looks like we're making another attempt again. love it. I think when we do break down, it could go really quickly. All right. So next thing I'm thinking about is this low actually going to be taken, or is it just going to be teased? I don't know if I'm willing to hold through a bounce for that, in case this is the low. You know, if you think about this being a sweep down here, if that is indeed a sweep, this, you know, this could be where like this area and this impulse move could be where your big money is. Everything is pointing down to take this low out. I just want to be cautious and not you know, hold it unnecessarily. Hell yeah, let's go. Broken Supreme. I don't know. That's I have a few different strategies I use. I'm very big on order flow, so I'm watching areas like this, the volume profile, value area low, value area high, point of control. This is VWAP with standard deviations. These are big orders that you can see here. So following order flow, this is a big sell that's being rejected right here. I'm going to close up. High time frame sweeps, liquidity sweeps in general, continuation moves. I have a lot of different strategies. Sometimes I scalp. So I don't know. It kind of just depends. I'm not very rigid as a trader. I would say I'm a little more fluid. So Broken Supreme, hope that helps. Sorry if it's not super specific. I mean, I certainly do get down in the weeds with nitty gritty specifics and key levels and so on and so forth. But that I would say for the most part, I'm an order flow, high time frame, sort of confluence trader. Basically what it comes down to is pick out your key levels, watch how price is reacting at those key levels, look at your risk to reward, and then manage your trade with either adding to your position or taking off at your position strategically. 25,320. Cool. And I usually talk about what my line of thinking is before I get into a trade. Yeah, it looks like this could keep going. I didn't like how it's bouncing from this big order here, but it looks like it might be continuing down now. So if you're still holding that, Gavin, fucking get it. And Broken Supreme. So I'm always watching this as well. So this is kind of like what's happening behind the scenes of the candlesticks that you can't see just with price. This is like all the volume that's transacting at each individual price level. So see how this level is highlighted right here? I'm watching levels like this. This is key level, and this could provide support or resistance at these, at these levels where you see a high amount of volume and price not pushing through there. Especially when you see it like on the top end like this. That means that you have passive sellers up here that could potentially hold price up here, and then eventually aggressive sellers end up pushing the price down. Here, this is actually happening on the top side, so this looks more like a continuation to me. Even though it's at the bottom of the candle, this looks like you got a bunch of passive sellers here, and eventually price could push below this area right here. So I would be watching this to hold, this general area to hold, because this is where the highest amount of volume has been pushed. On the right side is aggressive buyers. And if it's not holding, then I would be questioning the directional move. Looking like sellers are still relentless. Also watching this down here, cumulative volume delta. Don't see anything out of the ordinary yet. Sell volume still looks good. Yo, thanks, Adam. I think Kick Sniffer's still in a short right now. So what am I typically am I going for when I see that long or short? So I would say that's kind of inconclusive. This is kind of like when I'm watching this these volumetric bars. I'm watching these to get in a trade, and I'm also watching them for confluence if I'm in a trade. If I'm seeing like I'm noting where the highest volume is. Right here, the highest volume is here, so we're bottom heavy. Bottom heavy could be a sign that we're gonna bounce from there, but then with further context, you see that this is, the heaviest volume is on the aggressive buy side because it's on the right side. And if it's on the right side, it could also mean that at this area, you have a bunch of passive sellers. But the passive sellers will only be relevant if price is staying under this. Since we've been popping up above it, I'm kind of inconclusive on this. But they're like, if I scroll back like here, where the highest volume happened here on the sell side, on the right side, I don't know if you can see that, or like right here, that was a sign of continuation, because it's like buyers trying to push up price, push it up, push it up, push it up. Let me scroll back, sorry. Push it up, push it up, push it up, and then sellers are sitting here with limit orders, essentially saying you're not going to go past this ceiling, and then eventually price moves back down. So that would be an example of where you could see selling confirmation, and if you're looking short or you're in a short, that could be a good sign. And all this is just like basically gathering evidence. Like you're looking for evidence to go short, go long, do nothing. Sometimes the evidence you gather is do nothing. Sometimes the evidence you gather is like go short. If we started seeing a bunch of selling happening down here but price not moving, I'd be inclined to potentially look for a long. But you'd want it to overlap with, like, for instance, higher time frame confluence, right? So like, are we at a key level? This is the hourly chart. So like, are we at a key level? Yeah. So like, you want to be basically putting all the pieces of the puzzle together, gather evidence, and then add evidence for your case, subtract evidence for the case against you, and then, like, let's say you're scoring it like 1 out of 10, then the trades you take ideally are 8 out of 10 to 10 out of 10 evidence for you. And you kind of have to do this on the spot. You basically are just gathering. You have an idea of what you want to do, and then you gather evidence for it, and if the evidence stacks up, you take it. If it doesn't, then you don't. But it helps to have an idea of what you're looking for and where you're looking for it, so that when price gets to that area, you can then kind of hyper-analyze what's going on. And sometimes the evidence is for you, and it's not going to work out. And that's the way trading goes. But our goal is to be right. I wouldn't say more times than we're wrong, but as it relates to the times we're right, we want to be more right than we are wrong when we're wrong. All right, you still in this, Gavin? Cool, man. Let's hope it pushes through. It's not looking strong yet. $25,286. Yeah, no problem. Broken Supreme. Are you a trader yourself, or what do you trade? Are you trading today? I'm gonna get Mars real quick. Boys. Oh, sorry, Coda. Hey, buddy. Hey, Coda. Hey, buddy. Oh. All right. Oh, jeez. Hi, buddy. Yeah, that's the boy. That's the boy. Yeah, Coda say, ooh. Yeah, that's a good boy. Yeah. Good boy. Yeah. You can go inside? Yeah. All right, you guys can go in there. Oh, nice, Broken. That's what we're trading. Gold is looking pretty damn nice too. I don't know if you guys have taken a look at it today. Broken. If you want to, here, let's see. What are you on Twitch? I'll put it in Twitch. Feel free to join our Discord if you want. Just if you want, do you still have that subscription? Oh, okay. Copy for gold. Yeah, if you want to join our Discord, you can join our Discord. It's just like when I'm not streaming, that's kind of where we chat. We're not like super active, but it might change as we add more people. Just kind of a small group of people that trade every day. Basically, is what it comes down to. Give me 1 second. I'll get you an invite. What kind of strategy do you use, Broken Supreme? Adam, are you back? Did you get your shit figured out? Quad rotation divergent strategy. I'm gonna have to figure out what the hell that is. Quad rotation divergence. By quad, do you mean, are you talking time frame? Like, are you talking about quarterly theory? There's our Discord. Feel free to join if you want. Um, I, we're basically just trying to build a helpful community, of traders. And I'm always happy to help new traders. Trading is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And, I'm happy to give what tips and pointers I can. I'm looking at this 25395 as a potential pullback area, low volume node. Four different time frames on the. Okay, I gotcha. Okay, I could see how that would be useful. Yeah, not a terribly huge fan of this consolidation here. Especially considering I think there's going to be a strong draw to this 25394 area ish. If it does want to dump or continue going short, plus we got some buying happening down here. So I don't know. I think this could be at risk. You might consider taking some off. Four different time frames on stochastics. Yeah, I could see that for sure. And my philosophy on trading as it relates to people's styles and being successful, I think that there's so many different ways to be successful in trading. That doesn't mean it's easy. It just means that you can be successful if you do a 200 EMA bounce, and that's all you do. Or let's say you do a 200 bounce EMA that has confluence with fair value gaps, or 200 EMA bounce that has confluence with VWAP. Same thing with like 50 EMA. You can use RSI, MACD crossovers. I think that there are many ways to be successful in trading. It doesn't mean it's easy, but with the right person behind the wheel, with proper risk management and proper, emotional management, I think you can be successful. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to have some sort of strategy with an edge that gives you an advantage over other participants in the market. But I think there are a lot of strategies out there that actually work if played correctly. So, quad rotation divergence strategy. I'd be interested in understanding more about that, but cool. Yeah, join our Discord and feel free to share, any part of your strategy, because I'm all about learning new stuff, and I think everybody else is in there as well. This is a weird consolidation here. Still looking weak, but we've got a small test that happened. So this candle is a little bottom heavy at 25,310. Let's see if we can bust through 25,310 and hold it, or if it keeps bouncing off of that level. Still looking weak to me, but Broken Supreme, I'm interested to know, where did you learn that strategy from? This music. Oh man, I don't know what happens. Like I here we go, and we got another one. I type in classical. What did I typed in classical relaxing, and that's what we're getting. Like, what the hell? This is really funny. Uh, Day trading radio. Interesting. Okay, cool. What is that? A podcast? Yo, what's up, Pork and Lamb? How you doing? YouTube. Okay, cool. I'll have to check that out. I'm gonna write that down. Day trading radio. You lost 200K on Palantir calls? Or are you saying you put down 200K on Palantir calls? Did you take some profit off Kick Sniffer? Or are you still full position size? Just move stop loss. Copy that. Okay, you're trailing your stop loss. That's good. I mean, it's looking like the weak. We're getting weaker and weaker on the sell side, meaning that, like, we got this big seller stepping in, not moving price much. This big seller stepping in, not moving price much. Looking like the selling is getting weaker. Yep, do you, man? Seeing that 25, around 25,311 is a floor right now. So we got that, that daily low right here, basically around 25,280 that was put in on Tuesday. Again, my worry on these is like we have this low that was put in, and sometimes this low is left. It's not swept. A lot more likely that a low is swept when you have multiple lows there. Like these lows right here. But yeah, when you have a single low, sometimes a lower probability of being hit, because that's where the big money is, and they're not going to sweep themselves sometimes. Cool. Sounds good, Broken Supreme. In the pullback now, what do you mean? You're trying to take it long now? Oh, copy that, man. Kind of unsure what we're going to do here. Looking like maybe we might have a bit of consolidation or something. It's looking tougher and tougher for this thing to move down. Let's check out what Delta's doing. Negative 21K. All right, now on our volume profile, you can see we're very bottom heavy. Right now, I'm looking at this like as a little tight consolidation range. Probably don't want to do anything until we're outside of this range, at least for me. It's about that time, you know. We're at about 11:15. Honestly, the when you get moves like this, and then you hit 11. Sometimes, yeah. I mean, between if this happens and between the open and 11 Eastern time, just in my experience, if you've caught a good amount of this move, a lot of times that's that'll be the high P&L of your day. For sure, it sometimes it happens where you can catch more good moves, but a lot of times if you've caught the majority of this move and it's 11, first of all, what we might have in store is a consolidation for a while, and then maybe we break out of the consolidation, but like it could slowly grind like this. Obviously, there are a number of different things that could happen, but I've seen this happen pretty often. We get a big drop, and then we kind of consolidate for a while, and then we slowly move up, as opposed to like explosively move up. And you can get caught up, getting chopped up in this like over and over and over, thinking that you're about to bust out of this thing and reverse with some strength, and it just doesn't. And you end up dwindling down your P&L from what you made in the morning. So after moves like this, hitting, 11 a.m., sometimes 10:30 a.m., but 11 a.m., I tend to try to be careful if I've hit a good move on this. I tend to want to be careful for the rest of the day, because I've been caught in this consolidation and trying to catch the bounce and thinking it's going to do a lot more, and it really doesn't a lot. So that's kind of where my head's at right now, is play it safe. Meaning, like, don't I'm not going to mess with it unless it's outside this consolidation range. And even if it's outside this consolidation range, might not expect any explosive moves. Now, one thing that could also happen, as an alternative to this, like, we're consolidating here, and we slowly grind up, is maybe we come up here and we end up falling out of this range, and this could be a potential big move that we have. But just playing the scenario game. What's up, Princess Vanessa? Yes, I did. I was in the mood for shorts today. I wasn't in the mood for shorts yesterday at the end of the day. So yeah. Today I was trading a little more seriously, let's say. I don't know if we're doing more shorts. I was just talking about that. After we've had a big move like this and I've caught some nice profit, I tend to be pretty careful after 11 a.m. because I know that we can consolidate for a while. It can be choppy, and you kind of get amped up after moves like this, and you're anticipating a lot more. And sometimes we chop around for a while, and it can really just dwindle away at your P&L. So I'm being careful. I'm going to watch the outsides of these ranges, this range, to see if we pop out of it. Yeah, just waiting. What about you? What are you up to? You don't trade, so what are you up to? Just chilling? Okay. Well, you missed the action this morning. That's okay. There's probably not going to be a ton of action now that we've made this big move. We're probably going to just mess a lot of people up in this range. Okay, cool. What kind of school do you go to? Yo, Gavin, are you getting chopped up over there or what? Uh-oh. Sorry, I thought my cat ran out the back. Secondary school, okay. Man, I'm up 600 on the day after being down. Yeah, dude, you got some emotional swings. No, he's saying he was down 1,000 last night and made 1,600. So now he's up 600. We're looking a little heavy. We might fall out of this range. Let's see. Um, yeah, Gavin, you're so yeah, being up 600 after being down 1,000. That's an emotional roller coaster. I take it you like high octane stuff. I mean, I do too. That's why I like scalping. So it looks like we're rolling over here a little bit. Now the question is, are we going to break this and sustain falling, or is this just going to break and come back into the range? I'm watching over here. See if I can catch any clues, but you can see here where we have highest volume up here, highest volume up here, highest volume up here, that we're stair-stepping down. Now we have our highest volume down here, and it's falling below price, at least temporarily. I like to see this highest volume be at the top of the candles typically, or on the top of the range of the candle. Otherwise, it makes me a little fearful that we're going to potentially reverse. But the highest volume here is sell volume, which is, in my opinion, at this level at least, it's telling you that you got aggressive sellers still pushing price right here, still willing to sell at lower prices. So let's see. Yeah, I mean, also you can see that like within these consolidation ranges, if you're short right here, I don't know, we could bust through at any moment, and the shorts will be good. But going back and forth in this range after all of this action is like, now we're just kind of bouncing back and forth, and it's easy to get stopped out in these things, because if we bounce from the bottom of this range and you're short from right here, you're stopped out probably at this point of control right here. It can happen really easily. So Princess Vanessa, what is secondary school just like high school? High school mixed with like middle school or something? Are you allowed to be on? It's under high school. Okay. That's funny. You must be from somewhere outside the United States. All right, we're basically taking that low out now. In your country, it's called gymnasium. Okay. Huh. Okay. Copy that. What site is this? This isn't us. Are you talking about the music? It's so funny that I get all this Indian music. No, the site where you place trades. It's not a site. This is a platform, like a program on my computer. It's called Ninja Trader. Yeah, it requires KYC. How do you even know about KYC? Yeah, it requires KYC. Get a pullback to 61.8%. You're thinking a pullback way back up here? Or you're talking right here? I'll mark it up. Oh, you're thinking way back here. 9:30 to 10. Okay, you're thinking all the way back up here. That'd be more of a reversal than a pullback. So you can see, even though we made this kind of impulse move down, we pulled back into this range, but there's still like nothing happening. We're still in this range. So this is that kind of move where you're like, oh, this looks short, it looks weak, and you go in short. That's the kind of price action that, at least for me, this is the kind of price action that can really mess you up. Because if you're taking breakout trades and it just comes right back on you, unless you have a wide stop, this can chop you up. Yeah, are you talking about this? I marked out this big move down, and this is the 61.8 fib retracement. Copy that. 25,500 about. There, that's better. It was all zoomed in. Okay, now we're good. All right. I think we're just, I think we're in for some waiting, unfortunately. Sometimes okay, so, right now, P&L is pretty good. Had some good trades coming down here. Sometimes it helps to kind of tell your brain, okay, right now, well, you kind of did, you're going to take a break, but in addition to that, it's like, I want to, for the sake of my experience, I want to observe what happens here. We had this big run down, came down to this key level here, that previous high time frame low. Now we're consolidating. Let's see what happens after this, and let's note it and remember it and write it down. And the next time this happens, do the same thing. Because this kind of reference experience is valuable. It's valuable, I would say, because it will train you to identify areas that you shouldn't be messing with. This area, shouldn't be messing with this. We need to wait and be patient. And then let's see, what do we do? Do we break out below? Do we break out above? Do we manipulate below and then go above? Do we manipulate the highs and then go lower? Do we grind? Like when this has happened in the past and I take note of it, most of the time what the conclusion I come to is that there's not a lot of price action that results from this that's worth it for me to take. Not a lot. Especially if you get easy money, like if you get easy money on a nice trade, like you caught this whole move, and then you caught almost this whole move because you were in this as well. Like, you'll find the way your brain will work is like, shit, I got to keep going because I just got easy money. It's going to continue to be easy. The greedy part of myself wants to keep going because who knows how much I could get. But you'll realize that is oftentimes wrong. All right, so we're falling out of this descending range here. Let's see if we got the strength to keep going. I'm probably not going to take any trades. I mean, we did fall out of the range, so a retest and a continuation short could be potentially valid, but I'm in observation mode. We have a 4-hour fair value gap coming up. just below us at 25,230. I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick. I'll be right back. High time frame still looks hella short. We just filled a daily volume and balance here at 25,253. So on the day we've dropped almost 600 points. That's exactly what I was saying. Are you being sarcastic or are you being genuine? What do you mean blow the account for making too much money? You mean like you're oh, okay. So like on your eval, what are the rules? Um Consistency rule. So it's 50%. So you can make up to 1500. So every time we've had a large seller uh, pop in, prices continuing to go down today. No, no. You can go up to 1500 because you lost 1000. That doesn't like count. Like getting up to zero doesn't count as $1,000 profit. Oh man, tell you what. Okay, well let's see where you end. Let's see where you end on the day. If you can get 800, that would be fantastic. But um, let's see. So you'll probably find this more useful down the road. But when 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 you say you got to see if you can make $800, what is that for? Are you saying so you can pass your eval faster? And remember yesterday when I was talking about the, I was answering that question, the thing that held me back from being profitable in trading was trying to put timelines on things. But yeah, just answer that question. So the gotta make try and make 800. Is that because you want to pass it faster? Copy that. You'll well, sometimes you got to learn through experience, and that's one of those things that you'll probably learn with experience is that having that feeling that you have a set P&L you want to make in a specific amount of time is going to it's going to hurt you. It's going to hurt you big time. it'll, and it's okay. I think everybody has to go through that kind of stuff, but you'll just take note of when you have that feeling and what the result is, and eventually what you'll want to do is eventually what will be helpful for you is to be able to recognize when you start having that feeling that you think in your head, okay, I need to make this amount today, because I'm putting myself on a timeline, and I'm setting a hard and fast goal on what I would deem successful today. I think eventually what you'll want to do is trace that back down to its origins. And eventually what you'll realize is that the second you think that in your head, you should stop trading for the day. Not necessarily for the day, I guess, but at first, that's the safest thing to do. Eventually, you'll recognize it as a potential trigger, and you'll have other remedies for it. But trying to prepare you for it. So go about, do you, for sure. But these are things that I think you'll come to the same conclusion, that when you start thinking that way, you'll realize that it will manifest itself into your trading in a negative way, and you'll realize that, like, eventually. So if you were to go on tilt today, for instance, when you go on tilt, what you're gonna do is you're gonna say why. Well, like, what the fuck happened? I just blacked out, and I just completely ruined my day, potentially ruined my week, and you're gonna wonder why. You're gonna say, why did I do that? And what you'll realize is that those small little things in your mind, like, I gotta make 800, I'm gonna try and make 800 today, even if you're saying I'm gonna be patient, whatever, you'll realize that that is the start of being triggered, of going on tilt. Because that is in your mind, when you're saying that, that's that's kind of the high water mark that you're setting for yourself as a prerequisite for feeling accomplished. And if you don't hit that, you'll do anything to get there, even sabotage your own account to get there, because your identity is tied to that $800. You'll realize that when you tilt enough, and you'll also realize that tilt is the number one enemy in trading, and at all costs, you got to figure out how to prevent yourself from tilting, because you'll have 5 good days in a row, and 5 good days, let's say you're just calm, you're cool, calm, and collected, and let's say you got $2,000 in profit, and in one day you tilt and it's all gone and more. And so eventually you'll realize tilt is the biggest final boss of your trading. But everybody's got to go through their own journey. So when I'm saying this stuff, know that you've got to do things your way, and you've got to come to your own conclusions. But when you have that sort of self-talk, or basically what you just said out loud, you got to try and make 800. I'm going to comment on that because I've been through everything as it relates through trading, and immediately when you say stuff like that, it's a red flag for me. I shouldn't say for me. It's something I should point out for you to try and help you navigate, what some of these potential problems you're going to go through as a trader. Because can you remind me again? You've been trading for like a month, maybe, or a couple weeks. 2-3 weeks. Yeah. Uh, I To me, like, you're taking good trades. It looks like you really have the potential to be a successful trader. But regardless, if you're a successful trader, you'll have a lot of pain. You got a lot of pain coming, and I hate to say that, but it just is what it is. Traders go through a lot of pain, and a lot of self-discovery, psychoanalyzation. Like I've analyzed my trading habits so much, like put it on the microscope, and going so far to try and understand why you do the things you do, and what motivates you to do those things, so that you can not only just kind of prevent it from happening, but understand it, because the best way you can prevent it is by understanding it. And like having your identity tied to your success in trading is going to be a challenge. Feeling like you have something to prove, and you will talk to your friends, talk to your family, talk to everybody about the wins that you have, and then you're gonna go on tilt and you'll lose, and then you have to explain where that money went, and so that's also one of my biggest pieces of advice to new traders is keep your P&L to yourself, because it adds additional pressure. And if you have a girlfriend, right? So if you start talking about how great you traded that day, she's gonna be like, "Oh, how'd you do today?" The next day, and it becomes an additional pressure you don't need on your trading. And some of these things you'll learn with experience, but you start to try and identify what are some of these triggers that I have that cause me to do what I do. And if you're trying to impress people, that can cause you to go on tilt. Yeah, I can definitely see that you have potential to be a great trader. I can also see that you probably got a lot of pain to go through, because some of your urges, to catch every move and to trade overnight. Trust me, I've been there. I've done the same thing, and I'm the same way. I want to put as much effort as I can into anything I'm doing. I never want to half-ass anything, which has led me to get into some of these modes where I'm trading at 2 a.m., and trying to dig myself out of a hole, or, just whatever. I call it crack trading. That's one of my biggest weaknesses, and I still do it to this day sometimes. I see something that is on the charts after hours, and I start trading it, and then I somehow lose a trade, and I'm like, fuck that, I'm gonna make it back. And then it doesn't happen. I dig myself deeper. But yeah, it's weird, man. Like there's a lot of self-exploration that you do with trading that you don't do in a lot of other occupations, because you're battling yourself a lot with trading, a ton. And the way I look at it, and you'll probably get there, at some point, is you'll realize there are kind of different parts of your personality that come out in your trading. There's the logical side of trading, or the logical side of yourself that thinks through things, that's very methodical, wants to be safe, careful. There's the impulsive side of you, and then there's like a monster. And I don't know if you've seen The Monster yet, but once you see The Monster, you have to really, really pay attention to what causes that monster to come out. And then, like the way I was looking at it was that there's an extremely ambitious side of me that will want to succeed at all costs. And sometimes that's useful, and sometimes it's detrimental. That side of me that's extremely ambitious, that wants to push, go big size. The sort of agreement I made with myself was that I'm not going to completely deny that portion of my personality, but it has to be controlled by me. That side of my personality can't be allowed to just come out and do whatever it wants, because it'll fuck everything up. It's like the Hulk. So if you ignore that side of your personality, I think, it being suppressed can be a bad thing. So the agreement that I made was I will let that side of me come out, but it has to be controlled. Meaning that, like, if I take if I want to take a shot at a big trade and I want to size up and I want to continue adding or whatever, it has to be controlled. And if I lose that okay, you got your chance. Now I have to take over. So I can tell you got some of that in you. Just be forewarned that when you see that monster, you're going to be confused because you're going to black out while you're trading, and you're not going to understand like how all of your risk management went out the window. And you might not ever fully understand, but what you're going to do is you're going to figure out what your triggers are, and then you'll figure out how you can manage that side of your personality. Hopefully. And the other thing is, you can control some of these things with risk management. And I would say that's your number one thing that you need to do is like having your max daily loss set. Obviously, you didn't have one set on your accounts because you hit negative 1,000 last night. At some point, you'll realize that having a max daily loss set in stone that locks you out of your accounts is one of the best things you can do for you. But that's still only kind of a temporary fix. But it's a temporary fix that's really important, I think. Yeah, don't do minis, dude. Every once in a while, with the amount of drawdown you get with these accounts, it's just not feasible. To really trade minis successfully, where you're able to go through drawdown and as many losing trades in a row as that's realistic, probably from a probability standpoint, you need much more drawdown. Micro is where it's at for sure, dude. Most people that get into trading, they want to make big profits as soon as possible, and they go hard on minis. And the worst thing that can happen for somebody that's new to trading in that scenario is they get lucky. They get lucky and they make a good amount of money on minis, and then they think this is where it's at, and then they stick to it until they've blown hundreds of accounts, and they don't understand it, and they think it's something that they need to fix with themselves, when in reality they're taking on way too much risk. Yeah, you're thinking it's gonna bounce from here? Yeah, I was just looking at that and thinking, is there something to be had here? And I don't know yet, but I could see it bouncing. I could see this being like, around the low and us starting to make our way back up like this. Double bottom here, like we're coming back down. Test this low. Did you guys end up playing Call of Duty last night? Yeah, we're not gonna have. I'm not anticipating any high volume coming in. 130, 130 is usually when I like if we're doing this consolidating like this. 130 is usually when I start paying attention, and potentially looking for like another move. 1:30 Eastern time. Would be shitty if we see the move shortly. What do you mean? If we see what move shortly? Ah, I gotcha. Yeah, I don't know if I'm not really expecting too much, to be honest, right now. I could also see that I could also see us just going lower, just grinding. That's certainly one of the more difficult things about trying to catch reversals is that like you're looking for the sweep of the low, and let's say this swept this low, right? Then we come back up, and then we sweep that low again. That's just something you want to be aware of. That it's a difficult thing when you're trying to catch the reversal, looking for sweeps, but since we're in kind of a downward trend right here, we're gonna have a lot of kind of like what happened here, right? So go here, we take this low, and then we eventually just go lower. We didn't reverse. This looks like more of a flat consolidation, so I think we certainly could bounce out of this level. I don't know. I'm not really expecting it right this second or anytime soon. Yeah, high time frame. Let's check it out. I'm gonna go. So here, that's the daily. So we swept the low previous day. Let's go on the hourly. Let's go to the 4 hour. Yeah, I don't have a ton of clarity here. Looking like it's building up, some buying right now. Yeah, they have been swept. The question is, are we going to continue going lower, or is it a sweep then expansion? Is it a manipulation expansion, or is it just a low that was taken because we're trending down? That's the question. Getting above this range here. If we stay above this range here, it's looking a little more hopeful. Yep, 2350, 350. It's a good level to be watching. Yo, what's up, Broken Supreme? Oh, you created a new YouTube channel? Nice, dude. Yeah, it's going all right, man. Caught some shorts on the way down. Now just kind of watching as we consolidate over here. Yeah, Adam, I was thinking, man, it might be helpful like in the morning. It would be cool to like uh, a lot of times your bias will differ from mine in the morning, and a lot of times you end up being correct about it. And so it'd be good to be able to get your input at the beginning of the day. Um, because I value your input. So I don't know how we do that. Like maybe we get you on the mic in the morning or something. It might be a little confusing, having multiple people on, for the duration of the stream or something. But maybe we have like a pre-market, like, um, chat or something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think it's good to get a different take on it. Uh, my bias, my bias for today was short. I mean, after seeing what was happening pre-market, breaking through VWAP like this. That'd be cool. So like, it would be. I think it's difficult for everybody to have like input because then it gets complex. But we've chatted enough to where I know that you have sound analysis, and I think operating kind of with a team mentality um, can be helpful, and getting second opinions. I think would be good. Okay, nice, dude. Where are you guys going to lunch? For sure, man. Damn, dude, what was that place I used to go to in Houston? It was like, I really liked their Caesar salad. It was off at 1960. Maybe they have multiple locations. La Madeleine. Have you ever been there? That seems like a good take your mom spot. Yeah, it was off in 1960, but they might have multiple locations. But yeah, I would go there and get the Caesar salad. La Madeleine. That's what it's called. Texas Roadhouse. Oh, nice, dude. I actually have it in Colorado. I have a Texas Roadhouse like 2 minutes from me right now. How was your day today, T Drov? Did you catch any good moves? Texas Roadhouse sounds kind of good, man. Not gonna lie. Kind of looks like we want to keep like slowly grinding down. I'm not really participating right now, but yeah, it looks kind of like we want to just kind of slowly grind down. Was thinking this could be a potential bottom here, and we consolidate, make our way back up. But I don't know. I'm feeling a little more like we're gonna continue grinding a little bit, maybe make another low. I'm not a fan of taking trades in this time frame that we're in right now. Made a big move. I was just kind of explaining this to Gavin. If you have a nice move like this and the market uh, gives you an opportunity like this, and you take it and you make some money, around 11 o'clock is when I start thinking that the market wants to taketh what it giveth. So in this consolidation range here, and whatever we're doing now, all of this kind of like from here on is where I'm in sort of defensive mode. Like protect the profits you got, make sure you don't squander them away, because the market can be really tricky after we've made this big impulse move down. Now we're consolidating. Now we don't know what we're doing here, and you can get chopped up in here. And this is the fastest way to get rid of your profits. Trying to think that we're making a huge move out of this range, and then we don't. Like thinking that we're about to bounce. I mean, all this looks grindy to the downside, but just saying, like, if you're trying to look for sweeps on the low side to take high as a reversal, this will mess you up. That'll mess you up. That'll mess you up. And there for sure is, there are strategies where where you can take scalps back and forth within a range, for sure. But you got to have the scalping hat and mindset on when you're doing that, so that you're not essentially what you're trying to do is catch small moves within this range, and you're not looking for the breakout of that move, and you're patient. But right now, it's like probably not anticipating a big move until like the PM session, like 1:30 p.m. And you can see super low volume right now as well. So, like if you're looking for a move outside of this consolidation, volume is probably the best trigger you could have. While it's just kind of like moseying around here, not doing much volume-wise, it's probably just your signal to stay out. Like when you look at like that move down, like look at the volume that was happening here, and then now look at it, it's like we're really not doing anything. T-Drive, you're actually expecting some bullish movements because of how low we went on open, so I didn't catch anything good aside from Monday this week. It's not been not that good. Yeah, copy that. I feel you on that. Like we sometimes, especially pre-market, when we dip like that, we can expect a pretty huge bounce out of it. But it was basically like nothing. We went pre-market, started dumping, and continued to dump like through the open, basically like with the same move, like hardly any pullback. This is the biggest pullback we had right here. And then continue going short. But I feel you on that. Like a lot of times, like when you get a big, dump like this, we can expect a bounce. And when the market opened and continued going down, it was a bit of a surprise to me that we didn't. Like we saw no strength coming back into the market on the bull side. It's one of the things that's tricky right now with the way price has been moving is that I like taking shorts naturally. Like it's kind of like I love, shorting when, everybody's panicking. That's kind of like my natural sort of baseline inclination. But over the past few months, it can get you in trouble being a natural bear. So you train your brain to go long, right? You buy the dip. Basically, anytime you dip, you buy it. And now we're having a shift. The market has shifted. And who knows how long this is going to last, and we could bounce and go for all-time highs, again. But for the time being, what we're seeing is that we're having a lot more sensitivity to the downside, right? And you got to make those sort of adjustments to the way you trade and convincing your brain that it's okay to take these shorts because we're getting follow-through. It's tough, though. Yeah. It's tough when you're. That's why that's why it's helpful to have other people chime in with their opinions, because sometimes like you feel really, really bullish or really bearish, and it just takes, being open-minded to the opposite direction to make it a small shift in, the way you trade, and at least thinking it's possible that we could have, the opposite move happen. Yesterday, we went bullish, right? And I was bearish yesterday, and I was wanting to short. Was it yesterday or the day before? Day before, I was looking for shorts, but I was looking for shorts down here. Yesterday, I was bearish, thinking we were going to do something similar that we did the previous day, right? So like it would short from here, but Adam was bullish on the day, and I've learned to, like, when there's conflicting ideas, like when I'm thinking bullish, Adam's thinking bearish, something like that, I'm like, okay, well, I at least need to consider that because I've seen it play out where my bias is wrong, and then you're stuck looking for shorts the whole day. Sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing, because if you sort of stay unilateral in your bias, it can help eliminate flip-flopping and things like that. But if you catch it early enough and you're open to the idea and you're not too stubborn, you could take a long right here. Take a long right here. Like, okay, well, maybe I'm wrong. I'm seeing this supported through, buying, and I'm seeing it supported through, this key level. We get stopped and rejected in this gap. So having a bias that you stick to throughout the day can sometimes hurt you, and having other opinions can sometimes help you. I do think going into the day with a game plan is a good thing, though, because it helps you essentially play out the different scenarios, so you're ready to pull the trigger. It's like having your, if you're hunting, having your sights in a particular, like, grazing area, so that when the opportunity arises, you can, pull the trigger. So yeah, this is looking more kind of like we're just like grinding down. Between staying on your bias and losing and switching it just to see it being correct for the rest of the day, I don't know what hurts. I've definitely, yeah, hell yeah. That happened to me just, I think it was 2 days ago. Yeah, I was on this one right here, right here. I was short, like my bias was short, and because I was looking for short, I was looking for it to essentially like sweep these highs, bounce off a VWAP up here, right around this area, to take it short, and it continued blasting, and I was like, man, am I just wrong? I need to flip my bias. And so I ended up taking a short here. But eventually I was like, man, is my bias wrong? I'm gonna go long. And then all of a sudden it starts dumping. So yeah, trading is hard. That's what it comes down to. Trading is fucking hard, and it will test you. It will test you. A lot of times you kind of have that thought, like, this move was engineered for me, specifically for me. Like, it faked me the fuck out perfectly. Especially when you have something that works, fairly consistently, and same thing shows up, and then it just doesn't. You get blasted through, and you have so much conviction that then you try it again. So yeah, the only explanation is trading is hard. I want more piano. Got a lot of strings going on. I'm gonna do classical piano. There you go, that's nice. Maybe a little too chill. Hey, what's up, Corey Tong? How you doing? Good, man. Caught some shorts this morning. Now we're just kind of watching as this is slowly grinding down. What about you? Are you trading today? If so, what are you trading? Only a few views? I don't know. Started streaming a few months ago, and really I just stream for accountability reasons. Um, I don't really create a lot of content. That's probably why. Are you? Let me ask you this: Are you gonna try and sell me some graphics or some promoting? I get a lot of those kinds of people in here. Yeah. Okay. Copy that, man. I'm probably not gonna be your best target for that. I don't prioritize that. Do I know about promotion? No. Feel free to tell me about it, man. Yeah, tell me about it though. What do you do? How do you do it? Hey, what's up, Coda? T-Drov, did I have a mentor? When I started trading stocks when I was young, and my dad traded stocks. He was an investor though, not a day trader. So that's kind of where I got my interest in the stock market. My dad, he used to trade options, and he was actually really good at it. So I got my inspiration from that. When I started day trading, I took a couple of courses that I would say were helpful and sort of giving me the baseline information I needed, but not necessarily make me a successful trader. So I started off by trading. Actually, I think my first course was a futures trading course a long time ago. And then I took a small cap stock trading course. I don't know if you're familiar with Ross Cameron. He does like super fast scalps on low float stocks, and the strategy he teaches, I would say he's really good at it. But for new traders, it's really difficult. But I think it gave me a good baseline, for trying to figure out what type of trader I wanted to be. And then most of my education beyond that came from reading books and actually just a lot of experience, trading in the market. Like I've had quite a bit of before I started really trading, I spent 6 months sim trading. paper trading. And then, reading books like, Trading in the Zone, Best Loser Wins, One Good Trade, The Mental Game of Trading. So I did not have like a mentor that I was learning from on a daily basis. I took a couple courses, and the rest came from like reading and online education. Corey Tong, I'm interested to know what do you do? How do you promote for a Twitch channel without content? That's my question to you. Starting to look like we could be rounding out down here, but this still is not price action I'm interested in trading. Even when we come out of this consolidation, what I would be concerned with is that we could potentially just kind of slowly make our way up, as opposed to having any sort of explosive move. T-Draw, I'm going to be completely honest about that. Really not. I did not really have doubt. I mean, yes, there are times that are tough, and I've been through a lot of shit as it relates to trading, and you beat yourself up and all that. But there was never a time where I was like, either A, I'm going to give up. I never, ever, ever one time in my whole career of trading thought I'm going to give up. I don't even think I've ever thought I will, voluntarily take a break from trading. There are a lot of people who go through it and they think they're going to take a break. The only breaks I've really taken have been because, so for instance, when I was trading full time before I opened the restaurant and nightclub with my buddy, and I was I just didn't, I was basically up there at I don't know, 8:30 or 9 a.m. all day, so I didn't have time to trade. But to get back to the root of your question, did I ever question that I was going to be able to make it? And I mean, genuinely, no, I never had that, can I do this? The way I looked at it was if other people can do it, I can do it. And I think here's the thing is I do think that there are some people who might not be cut out for it, but naturally, and I think it's unnatural to be a trader in general because it's such a difficult thing to do. The risk management portion of it, controlling your emotions part of it, I think it's such a sort of unnatural thing to do, but I think it's such a huge opportunity to grow as a human being. If you go through that self-discovery process, you come out of the other side just having a way better understanding of yourself. And it requires that you don't just turn a blind eye to your weaknesses. And I think that's one of the most valuable things in trading. But I'm gonna give up because this is too hard, really doesn't cross my mind. Probably because I'm pretty stubborn. But I can understand if people do think that, because trading is tough and it'll rake you over the coals many, many times. So when I would go through those times that are really tough, and I still go through them where I go on tilt or things like that, what I have to do is I have to become motivated to discover that, discover why that happens and how to fix it. It's kind of like the puzzle that never ends, where to get through it, you have to have the sort of mindset that you are going to derive your satisfaction out of improvement and having a better understanding of your weaknesses so that you can guard against it. And I think that if you don't have that kind of mindset, you're gonna constantly be, like banging your head against the wall. Like if you only get pissed off when you perform poorly, if you only get pissed off when you um, tilt, like that is not a recipe for success. The recipe for success is to have an inquisitive mind, and to really, really gain satisfaction out of making small improvements, and to suck less every day, and to try and truly understand where you have, you know, blind spots, and how you trade and how you carry yourself throughout the day and how you manage risk. Yeah, the music in the background. Yeah. Corey Tong, you didn't really tell me. You didn't really answer my question, Corey Tong. I asked how do you do that. You didn't really answer my question. Um, I asked you how do you do that? Like how do you grow a channel? How do you promote for a Twitch channel that does not create content? T Drop, what about you, man? Are you questioning trading in general right now? By collecting my Twitch link. Okay. Well, Corey, I'm just gonna be honest with you, man. It's a piss poor answer. Anybody can collect my Twitch link. My question is, how do you promote it? Yeah, I'm just yeah. I was just, out of curiosity, I wanted to see if he could, actually sell his service. Because if I'm selling a service, look, I mean, this is like, if I'm trying to sell like a service like that, like, and somebody says, how do you do that? Okay, so let's say I'm a social media manager, like as a consultant for a company. They say, well, how are you going to make our social media grow? I wouldn't say I'll collect your social media channel link. I would say something along the lines of, we're going to create content that's geared toward attracting your user base. And if you're a restaurant, we're going to have beautiful AI pictures of your dishes that we're going to post as a campaign. We're going to have happy hour drinks posted at opportune times to get people through the doors. We'll do paid ads to get people through the doors. I'm going to reach out to all the top 10 restaurant influencers in your city and get them to come and post free content if you comp them a meal geared toward attracting your user base. And those users alone have a combined user base of 700,000 users that live in your city that will be offered a promo code to come in for a free drink. That would be an example of answering the question, how do you plan to do that? Gathering my Twitch link is not a good answer. So the answer, Corey, is no, I won't talk to you on Discord. But yeah, T-Draw, back to, chatting with you. Are you questioning the, like trading right now? Are you in kind of one of those lulls? Looks like we could be, making a move out of this range. And And if you know, like if you're trying to take this as a reversal trade, maybe there's a little meat on the bone to be had. But coming up to this consolidation range here, I'm kind of expecting the same thing on the right side. So think about symmetry. Coming up here, maybe we do this, and then we shake a bunch of people out as we're ranging over here. Something like that. And so this is a tough trade to be in, right? Because it's constantly just having you question whether the trade is good. And then maybe we eventually make a move up. But for now, that's kind of what I would be worried about if you're trying to take this bounce trade. Yeah. Strategy hopping is a very common thing, I think, for traders. Always looking for the holy grail. But, you know, I mean, it's valid to question your strategy. You should. Um, if you've back tested it and you forward tested it and it has I mean, do you mind if I ask, like, what is your strategy? Like, what are you looking for to get into a trade? So I think the only thing that I would be comfortable with trying to take this trade, and again, like we don't know if we're gonna be reversing out of this yet. I mean, it looks like we could potentially start reversing, but this could also just be a deeper pullback and we continue grinding lower. But the only trade I would be comfortable taking, I think, out of this would be like, let's say you take a super small contract size and then your stop goes below this low. And then you just hold it basically for the rest of the day. And if it works out, great. If it doesn't, no big deal. But it's kind of like you got to be willing to hold this probably for the remainder of the day. And then even potentially not even look at it. Because if I'm going to trade and it's doing this and coming back to my price and coming back to my price over and over and over, it's like that's mentally exhausting. I like trades that are easy. I'm gonna take a look at gold. Let's see what we're doing over there. Gold is bouncing as well. Gold's been matching up with NQ. On gold here, I would probably be more interested in shorting this up here. NQ looks a little more like rounded. This is sharper, so this might just be a pullback that I would be interested in, but like shorting it from up here, taking it down, could be interesting. $25,350. Yeah, right here. Well, actually, where is it? Okay. Copy that, man. That could be a nice setup. and you might just be trading a pullback. Like, it might come up here and pull back, and you might be trading that pullback. So you might just have to be, you know, quick to put on a break-even stop, or quick to take profit on it if it starts looking like it's going to bounce back up. Caught some very good trades this week, but but price is either very choppy or retraced to it goes way too fast. Okay, it's basically looking for a retracement using 10 a.m. open with other confluences at a fit level of 0.5079 combined with daily bias and other confluences. Okay, retracement using 10 a.m. open. Okay, so you're looking for a continuation move, potentially like into a fair value gap or something like that, at a fit level of 0.5079. That I don't understand what's a fit level of 0.50 or 79 combined with daily bias and other confluences. So I think the only clarity I need is what's the fit level of 0.5079. Oh, fib level, gotcha. I should have been able to gather that. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that makes sense. I mean, 10 a.m., between 9:30 and 10:30 is the hottest time to catch a nice trade. I also use, the range that's created after 10:30, but as it relates to, where, the best time to position yourself, like if you can catch a trade between 9:30 and 10:30, that's great. I like fib levels as well. And yeah, if you're taking the continuation move, it seems reasonable to me. Again, I'm a huge sort of supporter of people being able to make money, with a decent strategy. This is a performance-based game. Yeah, for sure, man. Well, every strategy is going to have losing days, and what you should try and figure out is how can you make those losing days smaller, and are there any other confluences you can have that increase your success rate? So every strategy, well, not every strategy, there are mechanical strategies, but I would say most strategies that are executed on a discretionary basis require some level. So, the variables in your strategy, you have something concrete, which is your 10 a.m. open. The other confluences, fib levels, those are concrete. Your daily bias, that's very, very discretionary, right? So the other confluences, that's going to be discretionary. So is there anything within your daily bias or other confluences that could be tightened up to increase your success rate? And is there anything you can do from a trade management standpoint when you have those losing days to make sure those losing days are much smaller than your winning days? Okay, so you're looking at gold. Here, I'm taking a look at gold now. This is a pretty significant move right here. What do we got? 100-point move right there. That was a lot more significant than I was anticipating in that short a period of time. This run up. I'm gonna start watching over here, but let's take a look at your gold. What kind of gold trade you were trying to take here. So here I got gold pulled up. You were looking at the 10 a.m. candle. Called limit order and round point. And the fib was based on a.m. short. Was it this whole move here? Yeah, which move are you referring to though? A multi-day, was it like what was your dealing range here? Oh, it was the move from highs up here to the 10 a.m. candle. Yeah, I'm just a little confused. Sorry, it makes it tough. I can talk. You guys have to text. Okay, yeah. Send it in Discord. That'll probably be more helpful. All right, so we made this big move up here. A lot more action than I was anticipating. Could be looking for a pullback now, but with the strength of this, it like this got me a little scared. It's gonna keep squeezing people because we kind of just went through this area like a hot knife through butter. There was nothing that was stopping this price action, just boom, which leads me to believe it could continue, and just like people that were taking shorts here getting squeezed out right now, their heads exploding. We're at that 350 level, Gavin, where you're potentially looking for weakness. Not seeing it so far. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll check it out. Let's see what's up. Didn't retrace enough for your entry. Okay, copy that. I got you. You were looking at the move from... Let's see, when did that... Is it this one you're looking at? I'm trying to line it up with my chart because your time is off. You don't have it set to Eastern time. So I'm trying to figure out, because I can't see the prices either. That's okay. I'm just trying to see what high you're looking at. Okay, so that's not even it. I need to look at gold. Okay, I see. So you took here. What is that? It's the high of the open down to the low of the 10 a.m. down to 10 a.m. and you're looking for a retrace. Okay. Okay, I see. I see. I see. So you're looking for a retracement to come potentially back up to like here or something like that. I gotcha. Yeah, I mean, like a couple different ways to look at that. One way to look at it is that like sometimes you're gonna miss moves. And here's the other, the other thing to consider is that with this strategy, some of the strongest moves you will miss because you don't get that deep of a retracement on some of the strongest moves. Like on the strongest moves, sometimes this gap is left open, right? And it just doesn't retrace back. And those are kind of the moves that I really like to see because it means that there's a lot of strength in them. But sometimes you're gonna miss moves with this strategy, and it's definitely okay to miss moves. There's no strategy that captures 100% of the moves it's intending to capture. So, like, have you back tested this strategy? Because this strategy is a very back testable. Like, you can back test this strategy very easily. You could even automate a back test to back test. I mean, really, I think a back test, should be like probably this year. All right. So, what I'm concerned with in this area, and the fact that we're pulling back here, is again the potential for consolidation here. If we do consolidate here, it's gonna shake a lot of people out that are going long here, shake a lot of people that are going short here. So if we continue consolidating here, I think it could, continue to be ugly. This move here, I mean, I guess, it pretty similarly mirrors this side, but this is a pretty decent move if you caught that. It's tough to use limit orders properly on TradingView. Oh, on the replay, copy that. Since it lets you put, okay, get bigger losses than intended. What kind of stop loss do you have? Is it like a dynamic stop loss based on highs and lows, or is it like a set stop loss that's like a fib level or something like that? I like classical music, but sometimes it's a little stressful. Oh, Gavin, you took long here, huh? If the retracement is 0.62 or better, I use the high of the previous candle and use a bit larger one, but in general, the high of the candle above the 10 a.m. Okay. Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think that makes sense. Okay, so the essentially what this is like opening range breakout T-Draw, like the setup that you have, you take the high, like if you go from 9:30 to 10 a.m., you take the high and you take the low, and then you're looking for a retracement back into that range and then a breakout of that range. So it's kind of similar to an opening range breakout trade, and I actually have data on that, and you might be interested in checking out a website called Edgeful. They have data on setups like that have success rates, and so one of the success rates that's the most meaningful for me is if you take the high between 9:30 and the low, the high between 9:30 and 10:30, and the low between the 9:30 and 10:30. You take, and once you tap the high or the low after that point, it becomes a breakout trade, and then there is a 80% chance, roughly, that the low or the opposite side will not then be touched. So a one-sided breakout. There is something like a 70% chance, I believe, that 25% of the range will be retraced. And then there's a 30% chance that 50% of the range will be retraced. So if you take that data and you create a setup out of it, your entry could be when you get a 25% retracement back into the range, then you take it for the breakout side. And your stop goes again above the 50% Fibonacci level. It's similar to what you're doing, not exactly, but it's similar. But if you go to edgeful.com, you can run different scenarios, and I think you might gain some confidence out of it, because you might be able to figure out how to get the data on your setup, because it also has Fibonacci setups that you can put in there as well. But check it out. It's edgeful.com. It might be helpful for you. Yeah, T-Draw, I mean, if that's the case, you might just want to have multiple setups for different scenarios. I mean, that's what I do. I don't have one concrete setup I use all the time. My style is a little bit more dynamic. But, some people like the structure. Damn, Gavin, that short would have worked out nicely. 100 points right there. Hindsight's 2020. So now it looks like we could potentially take these lows out. So here, when we're looking at this, here's kind of what I'm thinking is that this looked like it could come up and it could grind back and forth right here, but it didn't. It just started falling out of the sky down to the low. So symmetry is off the table. When you see symmetry show up in price action, you know, that oftentimes is a signature that, you know, market makers are controlling the recovery of this move. Now that we've fallen out of this range, this is not symmetry. So, in my opinion, more likely to go short than anything and break these lows. T-Drop. Yeah, you know, if you're feeling like it could overwhelm you, maybe you just need to focus on one setup. And here's the thing is that there are successful traders that trade very, very meticulously one setup, and that's all they do. And if you feel like that's your style of trading, then stick with that. And you feel like you're gonna have more success just focusing on one thing, stick with that. You know, I think that it's probably a lot more rare for traders to be successful that are kind of more dynamic than it is when they're really strict on having one setup that they perfect. And you know, maybe what you do is you have separate accounts for it. Maybe you forward test one account with one strategy, and the other you have a different account that you test other strategies in, but you leave your other strategy alone. You know, so that you can really focus in on the results of that and how you can improve that one strategy without messing it up with other trade setups. Also, if you haven't, you know, if you don't have, if you're not journaling your trades and tracking your trades, you might look into something like TradeZella. Or honestly, you can get a practice account if you want to with the prop firm that I'm affiliated with, which is the Futures Desk. They have a practice account, I think, for $20, and you can take trades in it. Use their software. It's really good because you can look at per trade, make notes per trade, and then tag each trade with whatever setup, you know, that you have set up like in the software. So like when you go, you basically set up your own playbooks, right? So that's like each setup that you have and what the particulars are of each one of those setups. It's only paid, unfortunately. Whenever I started using it, I was looking for the same thing. Like I was hoping they had a free trial or something, but unfortunately they don't. It's really cool though. If you have the extra money to like look at it, check it out, it might be worth it for you. It really helps you gain a lot of confidence in the trades you're trying to take, and you can start engineering some mechanical setups through the data. The biggest takeaways I had from the data are a couple. There are three of them really. After I kind of went through different scenarios. One, if there is a 15-minute fair value gap formed between 9:30 and 11:30 Eastern time, there is something like above an 80% chance that it will be unmitigated, the whole thing. So like if you look at today, for instance, this would qualify, this right here. This would be like a 15-minute fair value gap. The stats say that there's an 80% chance that price will not retrace 100% of this fair value gap. So that's one stat that I really like. The other stat is the initial balance breakout. So for that first hour, I was talking about this earlier. If you take the range of the first hour and you get a breakout of one side of that range, there is above a 70% chance that the other side of that range will not get hit. There is also a very high probability, I think it's a high 70% chance that after that first hourly range, whatever that is, if it's green or red, that the day will end that same color. So there's I think it's closer to 80% that, like, so since we had a red day for the first hour, this was red, there is an 80% chance that the day will end red. So yes, we can come back and mess around in these areas, but it helps you when you're trying to make decisions. Like, so in that sense, like, let's say our price is up here and, you're going for a breakout trade to the upside, you might second guess it because there's a low probability that we're going to end the day up here. So you can find different scenarios where those stats would be useful, but it's helpful for formulating some mechanical strategies, and it's also helpful for giving you a daily bias as well. Gavin, man, this phone. What are you talking about? Your phone? Oh, gotcha. Yeah, get on a chat with them. Gold is pretty much, well, maybe it's a little dissimilar right now. It made this dip, recovered, back up here. NQ's down here, gold is up here. I'm waiting for when gold is going to start diverging from NQ. So kind of back to what price is doing, right? You could certainly, this would have been a nice move if you caught it. This would have been a nice move if you caught it. But out of this big move down, consolidation, drop down lower, thinking this could be the bottom here, coming back up. Now we're still in this range here. And this is, while this move was happened faster than I anticipated, and this fallout happened faster than I would anticipate. I kind of was anticipating we were going to grind. This kind of back and forth price action is still not super ideal. I think we could fall down, and potentially being able to catch that move if we fall out of this range, I think could have some meat on the bone that could be worth catching. Unless we just, kind of fall out quickly and come back in. I don't know. I think basically what I'm getting at is that price has the potential to be pretty tricky, I think. Whereas here, this is kind of clear, directional. Now we start getting into this consolidation area, and if you're not careful, it could chop you up. Thanks, T-Drum. Have a good day, man. So, you know, going back to that discussion of like when you catch this nice move and it happens at the beginning of the day, and then 11 a.m. rolls around, and then you get this back and forth. For me, sometimes it's worth it to be done. You know, just okay. I made my money for today, and I'm gonna be happy with that. And you know, especially like here, right? Like at this point, if you just stop watching the market, now you're saving all the time for the rest of the day where you can do whatever you want. Sometimes it's worth it to do that. But I also know, you know, like Gavin, for you, you know, sometimes having this kind of screen time is helpful because you get to experience this. You know, like when I first started trading, I wanted as much screen time as possible because I wanted to learn as much as possible. And in my opinion, the best way to learn is through spending time on the charts. And I think there's a difference between like I have never ever in my trading career I feel like been a lazy trader that like wants to take the easy road. It's all about more experience, more learning for me. But I think there does come a time in your trading career where you recognize that like the times that are not advantageous to trade, sometimes it's better to not even be tempted, not even look at it. But I think there's a difference, especially if you're an early trader, to think that you can be one of those traders that gets in the market, takes a trade, or even if you don't take a trade, like you watch the open and then the rest of the day you're like, there's not going to be any other opportunities, because sometimes there are opportunities. And I think that kind of attitude is different from like, I'm going to be strategic about this versus I'm going to get off the charts because there's not going to be any other opportunities from a lazy standpoint. Like that's completely different. And lazy traders won't make it. You got to be obsessed. All right. This to me looking like we could potentially pull back into this area and then continue going down. We do have a bit of a top heavy candle here. Hasn't really been tested yet, but it's a little bit top heavy. Okay, busted through. Let's see what happens here. Not seeing anything just yet, but again, what I was kind of thinking was that we were going to come back up here and then potentially fall out of this range down this way. So let's see. No evidence of that yet. Just theory. No sellers present, only buyers. You took a long down there? Nice, dude. Nice work, bro. Nice, bro. Nice work. Did you hit your 800? Okay, cool. Nice, man. Well, that would probably be healthy for you to not try and hit that 800. I'd probably be down to shut this down early. I'm not seeing anything I like, and I don't know if I'm gonna take any more trades. I might just be cool with stopping today. It looks like this short here is not going to work out, at least thus far. And that was the only thing I had on the table. Yeah, it looks like, we're kind of doing some wacky stuff here. Another headspace, I can stop. Well, good, man. That's really good that you can recognize that. Yeah, man, I'm probably down. I think I'm in a good spot. Yeah, I'm probably down, man. Yeah, I'll probably shut down the stream. I'll chat with you on Discord. I don't know where. Oh, Adam's probably off to lunch with his mom. Yeah, let me see this one. I might want to take one more stab here if this shows up. So let me just analyze this for a second. It's looking more supported than anything. Here, I'll put it up here. Kind of muddy. This all looks muddy to me. Okay, cool. Yeah, I can do that, man. Yeah, I'll see if Ben's down. Yo, if you're still there, I might take Coda on a one-wheel ride for just a minute. Probably like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Hey, good boy, you want to go on a one-wheel ride? Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's go. Let's do it, buddy. You ready? Yeah. That's cool. All right, I'm gonna shut this stream down and I'll hit you up on Discord, man. Yeah, for everybody else out there, have a good day. Hope you guys stay safe today, and I'll be on tomorrow at the Open. Peace out. You too, Broken. Oh, Broken Supreme, I didn't know you were there. Did you join our Discord? Yeah, you joined? Okay, cool. Cool, man. Well, I'll see you in there. And then, yeah, I'm on every day. So, feel free to join. And then if you have any questions, just put them in Discord. But have a good day, man. Absolutely, man. No problem.